Yo, this may just be me, but I believe Kingdom Hearts is not that complicated. By that, I'm not talking about the extensive amount of lore that it has, which is a lot, but I'm talking about how complicated that lore is and how it can't be brought from point A to point B that simple. Or how certain characters have shit about them that are complicated, but it's really not. I bring this up because yesterday I saw a vid talking about how someone couldn't understand heartlesses and nobodies, and I really want to talk about it now. So let's start with the heartless, which are the beings created when a heart leaves a person's body and is consumed by darkness. The darkness consuming it can either be external or the natural darkness that is within someone's heart. People can also naturally become a heartless if their hearts are just that dark. Now, after a heartless is made, what's left behind is a body, and that becomes a nobody. Now, one exceptional thing about nobodies is that if the person that it was created from has a strong will, they retain the form of that person, while also retaining the memories of their former life and personality traits. However, now they have no hearts, so they don't have any real emotions. They can, however, develop their own hearts over time and be their own being, but that relies on their connections with other people. Now, the nobodies that aren't strong-willed essentially are floppy silver bags. Now, both heartless and nobodies can take on a variety of forms based on the original person, with different key traits dictating how powerful they are as a heartless or nobody. For heartless, it's the darkness in their heart. For nobodies, it's their will. Now, there's plenty of exceptions to these rules, but that's what they are, exceptions. Now, one interesting thing about it is if the heartless and the nobody of a motherfucker gets clapped, then the original person comes back. Usually with all the memories of how they were as a nobody, since it's not really that much of a difference. But there's one thing that threw me off, and I'm surprised it never came back up again, and that's the lingering will. For those of you who don't know about Kingdom Hearts, there was a character named Terra who was getting possessed by a guy named Xehanort who used the darkness like a motherfucker. When he got taken, his body submitted and his heart succumbed to the darkness and the being of Xehanort. But his mind said fuck that to the max and decided, you know what, I'm going to hop in my old armor and keyblade and still run this fade. Not only did he knock his possessed self the fuck out, he ended up basically sitting there waiting for him to come back because he essentially ended up disappearing from the spot. But until he meets Xehanort again, if he confuses anything as Xehanort, he will run the fade with it immediately. You get a taste of this shit in Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix when you find him as a secret boss, to which in my opinion he is still one of the worst fucking secret bosses you could ever run into in the franchise. When he pulled up in Kingdom Hearts 3, I was fucking shocked, and that PTSD from the fight kicked in heavy because he used some of them weapons during the clip he fought Xehanort in. To give you a solid imagination of what the threat could possibly be if you don't know anything about this shit, just imagine if the 6th Ranger of a Power Ranger group got a Keyblade. That's all you need to know. My bad, I went off on one hell of a tangent, but this was the only example of this shit that I've seen throughout the franchise as far as I can tell. Now for other shit such as the swords, I'm definitely willing to do a video on it, but I'm gonna have to save it for another time because it is a lot, but it's still not that complicated.